Oh, he got a gravity weapon. Brilliant. All right, you want to move on to Spider-Man?
I was actually going to say yes. Actually, I forgot we were doing Spider-Man. So Spider-Man.
Yeah. Okay, Spider-Man. So this is definitely
Big question.
the ball's in Penny's court to start off with.
Actually, I'm going to start off with a question.
You go for it.
Did you like Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man better?
Oh, Andrew Garfield, absolutely.
There we go.
100%.
Rory?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Tobey Maguire. Andrew Garfield. I almost messed that up. I'm sorry.
I also preferred Andrew Garfield. But Penny, why did you prefer Andrew Garfield?
I preferred him because I felt he was believable, like just more believable than Tobey Maguire. Tobey, doesn't really matter how old the actors actually are. I believed that Andrew Garfield was a high school kid. I believed that, but also he had the snarky, sarcastic, little, of what Peter Parker is supposed to be. He was almost annoying, and that's really what I wanted from that character.
Yeah,
that Tobey Maguire
Spider-Man is annoying. That's his whole shtick.
And he actually is like a guy, like a real believable character. I mean, I don't buy Tobey Maguire and his two facial expressions. Yeah. I really don't. I never have, except in Gatsby, who was good in Gatsby.
I was just about to say that.
But that's because most of his responsibility was to
narrate
and express those two facial expressions, which vary between surprised and surprised combined with angry.
Yeah, that's
it. That's all he knows how to express it. It's a disaster.
And he has surprise with angry, and I also found he has this surprise mixed with a little bit of happiness, where he'll be like. And it'll give this face where he's just it's kind of like you when you open up the door and you're an old friend standing there. It's like, oh, I didn't expect to see you today or something like that. Those are his three facial expressions.
Exactly, eyes wide open all the time.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I will say, Spider-Man 1, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, not terrible.
No, it's not terrible. And Spider-Man 2 was actually I thought it was a really good movie.
So do I.
Spider-Man 3, god awful.
Terrible.
They ruined it. Too many villains. I'll just getting out of the way now because I don't want to spend all the time on it. But too many villains. They needed to focus in on one villain. What they should have done is they should have had New Goblin and not Sandman, because I honestly don't think he's I honestly really don't like Sandman as a villain. They should have had the New Goblin. I believe that's what they were calling him. James Franco's character, and they should have given had another Spider-Man villain, say Shocker or Scorpion, somebody and say oh, Green Goblin or Green Goblin made him, and so they team up and they try to take down Spider-Man. Spider-Man gets the black suit, beats them up, but beats them so severely that he's like, oh, I can't handle this power. Then the end of the movie should have been him in the church ripping off the suit and the suit falling onto Eddie Brock, and the movie should have ended with Eddie Brock turning into Venom, setting up for a Venom focused movie in number 4.
Well, exactly, and I thought there were way too many. Even aside from villains, I thought there were way too many characters. Really didn't need Gwen Stacy in that movie,
or Mr. Stacy.
They can. They can constitute a full film by themselves.
Which they did in The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. Which they ended up doing, and I actually thought it was... I was unsure. I didn't think Gwen Stacy would be as good a choice, to be honest, before I actually saw the movie, but it was a much better choice.
I actually kind of
much better executed, I should say.
I kind of prefer Gwen Stacy to Mary Jane, at least in the comics. I don't know, Mary, because there's so much backstory with Spider-Man. This is just hard to decide, but a lot of stuff the big thing about comics is when you get new writers and they always want to do things the wrong way, which is understandable, but then that means they have to backtrack. So a classic example is one comic writer for Spider-Man in the mid-2000s said, okay, I want Peter Parker and Mary Jane to get married and have children, kind of settle down. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be awesome, a new evolution for the character. And then freaking JMS, who it wasn't his fault, but then I believe it's Joe Quesada at Marvel. He made Spider-Man make a deal with the devil, and he sold his marriage to the devil. I don't even know how that's possible. Why the devil would want his marriage?
No, it makes no sense. What was it called? One More Day.
One More Day. And it was an absolutely awful comic run, and basically they were like, okay, we don't want Spider-Man to grow up and change and be responsible. We want him to be, even though he's 30 in the comics, we want him to act like a teenager because that's what people like. And people are like, no, we want him to evolve as a character. I want to smash the table, but Rory won't let me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the wavelength would go totally insane over here.
I really like I felt like I like the Lizard in Amazing Spider-Man, but I felt like they could have used because Dr. Connors in the comics was always like a mentor to Peter, and so when he turns into the lizard, there's that big moral. So it's like, well, I can turn him in, but that'll ruin Dr. Connors' life. Like, do I do that? Is a big thing about responsibility. Like, does he have a responsibility to Dr. Connors, or does he have a responsibility to like the people of New York to keep them safe?
Right.
And I felt like having the Lizard as the first villain of the Spider-Man movies was not a very good choice, because he didn't have time to establish that connection between the two characters. I felt like if they had introduced Dr. Connors in like this movie and then had him as the villain in the second movie, it would have been better. But I feel like introduce Harry Osborn and have him set up to be Green Goblin or something. I thought that would have been better. Like, maybe they could have just had the Rhino or Mysterio or somebody that doesn't have that emotional connection to Peter Parker.
I was very convinced by Dennis Leary as Captain Stacy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was
That was
great.
a great
He did a
choice.
really good
Everyone
job.
I thought was pretty good in that movie. Even though I thought it was I didn't like the choice of Lizard in the movie. I still liked. He was still a pretty decent villain. Very good performance. I forget who played him.
The villain
Yeah,
was Reese Evans.
yeah. He did a very good job.
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy?
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone. She did a fabulous job.
She was incredible.
Martin Sheen, was it?
Martin Sheen was Uncle Ben.
Yeah,
They
awesome.
The Martin Sheen's always good. Big fan of Martin Sheen. And I was surprised and impressed with Emma Stone.
Me too.
Actually, to be honest, because none of her previous performances had given me. I didn't get the impression she was a bad actress. I just didn't get the impression she was a particularly good or diverse actress.
Yeah, exactly. She hasn't done very many like serious things. Not that the superhero movie is really serious, but she's done a lot of like comedies like Easy A and all these other things. I'm like, yeah, she was in The Help, but how does that translate to Gwen Stacy? But I think that she pulled it off like immensely.
It was a very pleasant surprise.
Yeah, exactly.
And hopefully I'll be similarly surprised by her acting in the future.
Controversy. Did you hear what's happening right now with The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
No,
I've heard
I don't think
something.
so.
So they had cast Shailene Woodley from The Secret Life of the American Teenager. She was also in The Descendants with George Clooney. That was nominated for a bunch of awards a while ago. They cast Shailene Woodley as Mary Jane Watson. Unfortunately, it was been announced, I think yesterday or the day before, she's been fired from the role.
Why?
Apparently, there was such backlash on the internet from just nerdy dudes that she wasn't hot enough to play Mary Jane.
What's her
that they
name?
fired her. Shailene Woodley. And we are losing our minds. I can't believe that Marvel would allow that.
What are you talking about? She's very attractive.
She's beautiful.
How do you spell this name?
I got it here, Rory. Hang on.
Shailene.
Rory.
Oh, come on, people.
But
Yeah,
no, that's like
comic book people complain. That's what we do. We're passionate about what we like, and when we're not in charge and we don't get to make decisions, we complain because we want it to be good. However, give the girl a chance. If she wasn't good, she can always be recast.
to me,
man.
I would be upset if she wasn't a good actress, but I don't if they cast Megan Fox, I'm like, no, I don't like that because Megan Fox is honestly not a very good actress.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
No, Shailene
Just throwing
Woodley
that out there.
Yeah.
is great.
Okay.
in The
Don't worry,
Descendants-
we've criticized some things on this show. Oh my god, not again.
So, do you want to talk about Iron Man?
Yes, always.
Yes, I do.
Okay, talk about Iron Man leading to the Avengers.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure. All right. Penny, favorite Iron Man movie?
Oh, Iron Man 1 of all time.
Penny, who's your favorite superhero?
Iron Man of all time.
Adam, favorite Iron Man movie?
I really like number 3.
Okay, interesting choice. Mine's also 1. 3 is actually really good. They should have, did we say this on the show? I'm gonna say it right now. Yeah, spoilers. They should have killed Pepper Potts.
Yeah.
Excuse you.
That should have happened. And don't get me wrong, Gwyneth Paltrow's wonderful. I think the character is really good. I thought it was weak that they had to bring her back.
She's
honestly.
his only salvation. No way.
They had to
No
make
way.
it fit with the Avengers too.
Yeah.
And yada yada yada. But I mean, no. Killed her.
Although I will say, less of a cop out for that movie than was when they decided not to kill Kirk in. At least I thought in
Star
Into
Trek.
Darkness, just because there was at least when Pepper Pot fell into the fire, it had already been established that she'd been
She
injected
had
by the
it.
miracle never die drug thing.
Oh, it was plausible.
Yeah.
It was plausible. It's just when that happened, when we first kind of suspected she might be dead. Yeah. Because I remember me and Devin had the same reaction. It was like, that was a brave move.
Yeah,
on the part of the writers.
Reaction. I'm glad they went that because you very rarely see, especially in these kind of movies, you very rarely see that kind of like take a chance kind of move.
Yeah, but I think what was more even